Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of First Time Watch Fridays here on Horror Film Lovers. So here's another one. We're gonna end the September a month with a movie that I hadn't heard of once again, and it's a movie I obviously hadn't seen. But when I went to the what is it, the Tubi, I saw that it starred Kelly Ryder, who I'm friends with on Facebook and I interacted with, and I've seen other things that she's been in, and so it was really nice to see her in a lead role. Um, so that's the first thing I want to say is like really excited to see her in a lead role. Secondly, I know Lisa Landon is in this movie as well, and she's sort of she's been around doing films for a while, and she's been kind of making a comeback in the indie scene. So it was really nice to see her, and I know she like promoted this on her Facebook, so it's kind of cool. Um, but all in all, I mean, it isn't a terrible movie. I'll say that that there were things I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the relationship between Kelly's character Molly and Tom, played by Jesse. Oh, good God. If I messed this name up, I am so sorry, but Hib, Ubik, Ubik. Yeah. So sorry if I totally messed that name up, Jesse. But they both did a fantastic job together. They had some great chemistry. So basically the storyline is that the couple, um, Molly and Tom, had a little kid named Joshua who died because they weren't really paying too much attention to him. And I believe he died in the house. So he ended up sort of they started feeling like there was a presence in the house and everything. Then later, Billy shows up, and that is the sister of Molly, who wasn't even at the funeral because apparently she was out getting high, which I hear in a lot of movies, that kind of thing, which I'm sure it happens. So I'm sure it's a thing. Um, but so one night when Billy's doing cocaine, like and going to sleep, which I thought that would be sort of contradictory to each other. Like usually you snort cocaine to stay up, not to go to sleep. It's not not a depressant or something. Doesn't I don't know. Maybe it does help some people sleep. I don't know. I've never done it, so I can't say anything. But I will say that I've always kind of thought of it as something like more, you know, gets you up. It's an upper to me, but maybe it's not. Maybe to some people they can just do it and it helps them go to sleep. I don't know. But that's sort of what she does. And she also mentions like, where are you to her boyfriend, I guess. So I don't know if her boyfriend was supposed to be coming over or something, or she just didn't know where he was because he wasn't responding. Really wasn't much about that except that she was just texting somebody and then she went to go to sleep and then something grabbed her and touched her and it turned out to be I guess a spirit, touched her and stuff and it was kind of she got sick and so uh Molly doesn't know what to do, calls her aunt, played by Lisa London. Or yeah, Lisa London, played by, or who played Janice, the aunt. And Janice is your typical medium kind of character that comes in. So this movie felt very Poltergeist and Exorcist together, which isn't a bad combination. It's just sort of like the two most popular like horror films kind of thing. Um, so she comes in and she does a seance and she tells the little boy not to look into the light. And I was like, oh God, like I'm surprised the character that it wasn't a little girl named Carol Ann. So then the little boy, turns out to not be the boy, it turns out to be an evil spirit that ends up getting let go. Now, the cool thing, which I think was sort of funny and different, was that they used a phone to contact the dead, which was interesting. And then the phone rang, and they answered it, and it turned out to be that evil spirit. So anyway, the girl gets possessed, and they have to call in a priest, and then the priest has to go get help, and by the Catholic Church. And I wasn't aware of this. I don't know if this is in other exorcist type movies and stuff like that, but you have to get approval by the Catholic Church, and it takes a little while to get approval, which would sort of make sense. It would probably take a while. It's not something they can just go, yeah, okay, stamp, you're good to go tonight, you know. Um, so they have to get like the approval, and so the priest who's not really a priest anymore, kind of comes to get help and it's your typical exorcist and poltergeist movie. Like it's all of that in one like movie. Um so the stuff that I wasn't too keen on is just, yeah, some of the stereotypical stuff. I was sort of like bummed that they like, just like I said, they said they go to the toward the light, and I'm not sure it. So I've never done a seance either, so I can't say if that's a typical thing you'd actually say during a seance. But that's something I always heard from Poltergeist, and a bunch of other like indie movies do that. So it's sort of kind of an annoying thing. But what I did like is the Christian aspects of it, the Catholic feeling of this movie. And I actually did do a little bit of research. I'm always scared doing research on exorcisms because, like, yeah, I sort of, in a way, I'm Christian myself, so I sort of believe in a lot of the stuff. And when I go and do research, I get a little worried because, like, am I going to find something I'm not supposed to be like looking in? And I'm sure I'm not, but am I going, is the devil gonna be, you know, checking this out for me? I don't know. So I get a little worried about doing that. It's actually kind of like, I don't typically like because ones that make me feel like this could be real, you know? Um, I know a lot of friends who are atheists who just don't believe in any of this and stuff, so this is just garbage to them type thing, like, doing exorcists. So they just believe that the movies are fun to watch. The people pretend to be possessed by the devil or a demon, which I'm guessing it was a demon that possessed her, that possessed Billy. Because she was uh like there was something she couldn't get free, and he said, oh, if you were the devil you could have gotten free. So I'm like thinking, okay, it wasn't a devil, it was probably a demon, entity, but he called himself the devil. um and I'm trying to wonder if that's like, if there's a thing in the Catholic Church that says, like, if it's not actually the devil but it's a demonic entity, that's from like hell, should, whatever. Anyway, um, all in all, it was interesting. The woman who played Catherine, who was the I guess I don't know if she was part of the Catholic thing, but I think they did call her Sister Catherine. So was she a nun? I don't know, because they never really showed her in nun garments and stuff. And she also sounded like she had left the church or something. So there really wasn't enough information about stuff. And I always kind of get worried about the movies where they're like, okay, we're going to introduce a movie or a character like 20 minutes before it's about to end, like in the third act. And I'm always like, you're going to introduce the character that's going to actually save the people, like, in that, like, it gets a little too, okay, now, all right, all of a sudden we can, you know like when you're writing the movie, you're just like, how are we going to defeat this thing? Oh yeah, we have to call in this person. Oh, this person has to call in this person. And you know what I mean? And it just gets to be like, okay, that's how you're going to solve it. I don't know. It just bothers me sometimes. But it's a typical, like a lot of these movies are typical exorcism movies. And I don't really, once again, I don't really watch a lot of them because I do sort of like I made one myself, and I sometimes feel like I'm watching something that maybe I shouldn't be watching once again, and it's just weird for me. Um, but once again, Kelly did a fantastic job. Jesse did a great job. Christine DeBelle did an amazing job. Nicole Olsen, who played Billy, I loved her. I was sort of surprised with the ending. I kind of hate to say it, but I kind of wished that it ended where like I just wish it had ended in one scene, like because then all of a sudden it kind of cuts to this other stuff, and I'm not spoiling anything, so I'm trying not to. So cuts to this other stuff, and I just wish that like it ended maybe um 3 or 4, maybe even 5 minutes before like when things got chaotic and stuff. It felt like there was the perfect ending for that, and you know, but. They decided to kind of do like a little twist at the end in a way. Um, so would I definitely recommend this movie? Oh, by the way, and I also liked London, and I liked and I just liked everybody. Mel Novak played the father in the beginning of the film. And the beginning of the film kind of shows why the priest kind of like messed up, and all of a sudden now he's not a part of, like, he had lost his faith or whatever. He had a crisis of faith and stuff. So, but it just honestly it was an entertaining movie. I liked it. I don't know if I'd ever really watch it again or not. I'm very happy I did watch it, and I would watch it again. Everybody did a great job, and I want to say there's a guy, the director is Rich Mallory, and I thought he did a great job. I was not aware of him, but he had done Sociopathia uh with uh Ruby LaRocca, and I remember seeing that and loving that. So I need to rewatch that sometime. It will not be part of this, but it will be part of its own thing at some point. So I'll definitely be doing reviews of that. But all in all, I tell you, if you are a, if you're a fan of like The Exorcist, Insidious, Poltergeist, all of those type of movies, definitely watch Holy Terror. For some reason, I kept thinking it was called Unholy Terror. But I think that's another movie. I think there is a movie called Unholy Terror that's out there. So, but this was pretty cool. Like, I don't know, it was enjoyable. Um, I think it might be a little slow for people at times because in the beginning it does set up a lot of stuff and there's not really any really scarier moments till later. But it does set up this like uncomfortable feeling of like what's gonna happen next. And I really like that. I enjoy that. So all in all, I would suggest that if you are a fan of Exorcist movies, check this out. If you're not a fan of like demonic possession movies and ghost movies and whatnot, I would say this wouldn't be your cup of tea. I really like the supernatural elements and stuff, so I'm into this stuff. Um, so all in all, I would say check this out if you get a chance. Until then, bye.